What is up, guys? In today's video, we're going to be talking about the potential for the Shockwave Hammer and Kinetic Blade to come to Fortnite OG. As always, if you guys do enjoy this video, remember to give it a like, subscribe if you like to see more, and comment down below what you think of this and which one you would be most excited to use. And I know this sounds like clickbait nonsense, and that's what I kind of initially thought, or like it was a mistake when I saw this. But with some recent changes that we've gotten to the game, it seems more and more likely that this is actually going to happen. So this was leaked at the start of the season, and I was not expecting much to come of this. I thought maybe it was like a mistake, or the fact that these Rift events were a thing was just like kind of something that was left in from a previous season, or maybe something that was like going to be used last season that ended up not getting used, and then it was just left around, you know, something like a mistake that people were like overreading into. But last week we got a Rift event which brought the Grapple Glove to the game, and the Grapple Gloves were initially added in Chapter 3, sorry. They were not a Chapter 1 item. They don't fit with the OG theme of this season. So the idea that like, no, they wouldn't add the Shockwave Hammer or the Kinetic Blade because those were Chapter 4 items, it doesn't go with Fortnite OG, is just already literally not true with the Grapple Glove being added last season. And at the start of the season, it was leaked that these items would be returning, like I said, and the Grapple Glove was also a part of that same like set of info. And the way that all of these items would be coming to the game is that they would be attainable from Rift events. And, you know, we've already seen that the Grapple Glove was brought to the game last week from a Rift event. So I think it's pretty likely at this point that the Shockwave Hammer and the Kinetic Blade could be returning, you know, in some capacity during Fortnite OG. And the Rift events that, you know, have been leaked and are expected to be added during Fortnite OG are an event that spawns Scrap Knight jewels and a dirt bike. This one doesn't really sound that exciting or noteworthy at all. Not really looking forward to it. An event that spawns the Stray NPC with a Kinetic Blade, and then finally an event that spawns the Surburger and Shockwave Hammer. So the Shockwave Hammer and Kinetic Blade are going to be the most sought after ones, obviously. The dirt bike being there, like sure, it's a Chapter 4 item, but is it really that big of a deal? No, I don't really expect it to change the game that much, but the Kinetic Blade and the Shockwave Hammer would change the game a lot, and it would be a huge advantage for anybody that gets them. And like you might be thinking that like, even if they do return, since it's just a Rift event, is it really that big of a deal? The likelihood of getting it in any given match is quite low if it's just a random event chance, and that, you know, not only does it have to be a random chance that the event spawns, but also it has to be a random chance that it's like the event you actually want, the Kinetic Blade or the Shockwave Hammer. And then on top of that, you know, it has to spawn in the match you're in with the right event you want and be attainable to you, because like, you know, if you landed at Shifty Shafts and the event happens at Wailing Woods, you're probably not going to run into it and you're probably not going to get these items, right? So the likelihood of getting it might seem pretty low. But when the Grapple Glove Rift event was added to the game last week, the Grapple Gloves were also added to supply drop loot. So you have the ability to get Grapple Gloves from supply drops. And this might have been something where like people were struggling to get mobility this season. So Epic just added it to the supply drop loot. That way, you know, the mobility would be a bit more plentiful. And then, you know, it's also a possibility that the same would be true of the Shockwave Hammer and the Kinetic Blade. The Grapple Glove wasn't in Chapter 1. It was brought to the game via a Rift event, but it is also in supply drop loot right now. And so the same could be true with the Shockwave Hammer and the Kinetic Blade. Maybe when those get brought in from a Rift event, then also they'll be attainable from supply drop loot. This would make supply drops like even more insane than they already are. Supply drops are like pretty high value this season because of how difficult it can be to get high rarity loot, how difficult it can be to get shield and utility at times. So just going for a supply drop is often going to be the play in Fortnite OG. And if the Shockwave Hammer and Kinetic Blade do get added to supply drop loot, I think that would be a huge deal. Much bigger deal than them being a Rift event. Like I said, it's just a lot of things that have to go your way to be able to get this item from a Rift event. But I do see the Grapple Glove Rift event in like every game I play. I feel like, I don't know if this is like just because it's the only one currently in the game, or if they do have like an increased Rift event spawn chance during the season since it is so short. Not really sure, but I feel like at times in Chapter 4, there were so many Rift events that could happen, but it wasn't like every game I encountered a Rift event. But most games I play now, I see the Grapple Glove kind of like the spawner thing, the like kind of event that it comes in, the little like graffitied metal thing. I don't really even know what it is, but the spot where you get the Grapple Glove, I feel like I see it every game, and it only spawns in from that Rift event. So like the chance of getting the event is quite high. And if they add the Shockwave Hammer and Kinetic Blade to supply drop loot, I think it'll definitely change the game a lot. Even if it is just an event, it'll still be something that you really want to go for. The Shockwave Hammer and the Kinetic Blade are some of the best mobility items we've ever had in Fortnite, probably the best. And the loot pool we have this season, I feel like is even worse at dealing with it. When we had like the Red Eye AR in the game, you could kind of tag the person down using it. But trying to hit someone that's using these weapons with like the Scar, the Heavy AR, or even the Scoped AR is going to be a lot harder than it was to do so with the Red Eye AR. So the Shockwave Hammer and the Kinetic Blade were already insanely good, but I would expect them to be even better in Fortnite OG just because the medium range weapons aren't as good. But that is going to be it for this video. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. If you are excited for these items to return, I think most of my viewers probably would be excited. There are some people out there that get, upset whenever anything isn't, exactly as it was in Chapter 1 during this season. Like I saw a decent amount of people upset about the Grapple Glove, but I do think it would be a lot more fun if we had something like the Kinetic Blade and the Shockwave Hammer to change it up a bit. So let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, give it a like, subscribe to see more. I'm going to let the gameplay play out of a recent game that I got on stream. Thanks for watching. He's like chilling underneath. My old Porta Fortress is kind of in, but I don't have shockwaves to get there anymore. This guy's a sniper. Yeah, if he didn't have a bush on, that's potentially like 120 damage on him there. That bush was like a big deal. Wait, was that door shot earlier? Of course. I get stuck on the tree hitbox and he hits a snipe. That's so tragic. I don't think this player is very good because of the fact that nothing had happened when they were both under the thing together. Because if that guy was decent at all, he would have like pushed that guy after I like took his Porta Fortress from him. Instant third party after kill never fails. Yeah, I really didn't think he'd be coming behind me because of like the fact that I griefed that guy.